If you need help, then dial your operator.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is here.
Welcome back. Now it's time to get to the top 8 international headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. So let's waste no time. Woo. Oh, teach it to me, baby. Woo. Woo. Let's get to it. Story number 1. Small businesses are going under due to COVID-19. That's not good news. A reported 800 small businesses. This is bad. They all filed, but 800 small businesses have filed for bankruptcy according to the Bankruptcy Institute. This is just one of many headlines geared towards what COVID-19 has done to the small business sector. This story is very important, and that's why I made it in this week, and the list goes on. According to USA Today, Simon Property Group may be in talks with Amazon to convert vacant Sears and JCPenney spaces into Amazon distribution centers. According to the article, most of the parties involved have decided not to comment on what their future plans are, but this headline highlights how business owners are making moves to improve their brands and save their future while leaving a lot of people behind. And that is not good news, especially in a country that tries every day to make the system fair. So keep an eye on story number 1. U.S. gained 1.8 million jobs in July. That's down 4.8 million. But some articles focus on a U.S. rebound compared to Canada, which has added 418,500 jobs during the month of July, and they are seeing gains in their economic recovery. So story number 1 highlights a lot of what's happening on the economic stage, global economic stage. But the sad part about it is small businesses and family-owned businesses are being left behind. This is a key story, so keep an eye on it. Story number 2. Science is advancing in the fight to defeat COVID-19. According to Futurism, scientists may have found a weak spot in COVID-19. The small article focuses on how COVID-19 connects to victims' cells. The science behind this is what the scientists believe. They believe that if you use a magnetic approach, since cells attract with electrostatic, there is a possibility that COVID-19 will repel instead of attach to the victim's cells. This is what the story entails. This is what the article talks about. It's a very, very small article. The theory is to use opposite polarity or opposingly charged molecules, if that makes sense. But I do advise you to check out the article. It's a very good article. This could be a starting point when using biochemistry to stop viruses. Science has made huge advances in the wake of COVID-19, and at the moment, science seems to be the only hope to defeat this virus, unless you're calling on Jesus. Another headline. Almost got ahead of myself. A movement to stop COVID-19 misinformation has been in and out of the news. There have been reports of people dying because there is so much misinformation out there. That is a big headline and a big talking point. So keep an eye on story number 2. That's why I made it to the top 8 this week. Story number 3. Children and COVID-19. In the last 2 weeks of July, at least 97,000 children have tested positive for COVID-19. This is still a developing story. Study shows that children being bitten by dogs are on the rise during the COVID-19 wrath. Could this be because dogs and children are frustrated? Who knows? But that's the mystery behind the story. That's why I made it in this week. Parents are turning to tutors and pods to assist with their child's online learning during the COVID-19 pandemic. All of these stories circulating inside of story number 3 shows how children are being affected by COVID-19. One report on back-to-school concerns describes the details of a second grade student who tested positive for coronavirus after the first day of school, leaving a lot of parents concerned about sending their children back to school in this COVID-19 chaos. While parents are up against the wall when sending their children back to school, as stated, a poll also says that many parents prefer a mixture of online classes and in-person learning. We have to jump in the water eventually, and a lot of parents are trying to save their children before they even jump in the water. But sometimes we just have to let go and let Jesus, hallelujah. Well, let's get to story number 4. Story number 4 are tensions brewing between China and the United States. One report claims that China has been stepping up its military drills due to tensions with the United States. This is a big developing story. I just pray that the bombs do not start falling from the sky. We've made such big advances. Trump goes on the record and says that Americans will have to learn Chinese if Biden wins the election. That's a big talking point because Trump has been actively seeking United States reparations from China. And that's kind of I'll keep the comment to myself, but somebody has to pay the bills, and this COVID-19 doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon, and all fingers are pointing towards somebody to blame for this disease. Gizmodo reports that U.S. sanctions have Huawei smartphone chip supply coming up short of meeting demands. The article says the company could run out of smartphone chips in a month. There's a lot of pressure and tensions brewing between China and the United States, and Trump is at the center of attention. He's causing a lot of friction between the two countries, along with his allies. China has imposed sanctions on a number of U.S. senators over Hong Kong. This includes former presidential contenders Senator Marco Rubio and Senator Ted Cruz. This story is still developing, and there's a lot of stuff going on inside of story number 4. Packs a punch. Well, those are our top 4 international headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. I'll be back with the top 4 international headlines. That includes altogether 8 international headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. You're in the Mediator with me, Brian West. Much love.
What does Method 8 Media Center have that I need? Small prints, event consulting, photography, business consulting, technical consulting, entertainment consulting, fundraising advice, event videography, movies, news, publishing, media, books, entertainment, acting, broadcasting, public relations, access to the performing arts, visual arts, ink, and black ink refills, audio recording, graphic design, theater, minor computer repair, minor cell phone repair, and they're located at 4800 Market Street, Mormon, Ohio, from 10 to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Oh, yeah. List goes on and on. And yes, I am a chipmunk.
If you want to check out the stories that almost made it in or did make it in, go to our Twitter feed on our website. Check out everything. All of the sources are there. And go to the website. It's method8inc.com. Method8inc.com where you can buy something, click on something, watch something, read something, or just sponsor a program. Welcome back. Now it's time to get to the top 4 international headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. So let's waste no time. Oh, I got it. Don't worry. Let's get to it. The boss is in the building. Ooh, story number 5. Poverty is becoming a big problem. A lot of hungry people out there, including me. Scary Mommy reports that data shows that parents are not saving for their kids' college education. This is a big developing story. Another headline, new research suggests that black communities could be getting the short end of the stick when it comes to COVID-19 relief funds. What makes this story unique is the fact that black communities have been hit the hardest by COVID-19. And many are demanding work from those black communities. You just keep on using me. until you use me up. Riots have broken out after the Beirut explosion in Lebanon. I guess Lebanon's prime minister is blaming corruption for the state of his country, which has already led to more poverty and suffering. This is another big headline. Vice reports a tenant rebellion due to the ripple effect that COVID-19 has had on their pocketbooks. So tenants are rebelling against their landlords inside of story number 5, and that's why it made it in this week. Story number 6. How did the police become a target? In the last 40 years, the public has tried to get the attention of high-ranking officials about policing tactics. With protests and lawsuits being reported across the country, plus the advancement of technology, police have now become a target. This is a big developing story. Seattle police chief resigns, claiming there needs to be more respect for officers. She resigns as numerous stories have been circulating about police brutality and the downsizing of police forces. This is another big developing story. Violence in Chicago erupted against police. 100 people were reported arrested, and 13 officers were injured, if not more, according to a report by USA Today. Another big developing story relating to the police. Seattle City Council has approved plans to defund its police department by reportedly slashing jobs and salaries. Como, that's KOMO, reports that their plan could cut their $400 million budget by about $3 million. That's another big headline. In Salt Lake City, some Black Lives Matter activists could face potential life sentences over damage caused while protesting criminal justice reform. Story number 6 is a big headline that a lot of people are keeping an eye on. It almost made into the top 2 this week. Gearing and zooming in on the relationship that the police has with the public, and on top of that, the criminal justice system and criminal justice reform. And to make matters even more heated, we're headed into a big presidential election. I'm sure this will be a topic of discussion in the debate. Story number 7. The top 2 international headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. The COVID-19 wrath continues. Some college football divisions announced they will not play in the fall. At the moment, the Pac-12 and Big Ten are on the list of conferences backing out of their seasons due to COVID-19. This could be bad for a lot of local economies that depend on hoteling, college football, participants' money, and the circulation of money in the communities. This is a big story. Budget cuts due to COVID-19 are reportedly causing a trash buildup in New York City. New York City? New York City. Coronavirus cases have passed the 20 million mark globally. It's another big headline. And last but not least, inside of story number 7, Africa needs help as COVID-19 cases pass the 1 million mark. We're all asking for help. We're all asking for answers. And I'm pretty sure there's hope out there. Look towards the rainbow in the sky. Story number 7 is just getting better. Story number 8. Donald Trump and Joe Biden are officially in election mode. Joe Biden has chosen Kamala Harris as his 2020 vice presidential running mate. Spectators see this as a strategic move to obtain the black and female vote, while some see it as a power move. This story is still developing. This is the first time in history that a top candidate has chosen a black female vice presidential candidate. Keep an eye on this story. I'm sure it will have a lot to do with what's coming around the corner in November. So keep an eye on this story. New research shows an increase in people giving up their United States citizenship. That's bad. Well, it could be bad news in some scenarios, some cases. So that's another big developing story as the country tries to get a grasp on the concept of freedom. which is good. God bless America. Trump has a lot of weight on his shoulders, but there are a few things that he has done when it comes to COVID-19 and China. Here are just a few. Trump signed a stimulus relief bill to get money in the pockets of struggling Americans due to coronavirus. He also has signed an executive order enacting $400 unemployment benefits and plans to take action on student loan payments. So Trump is loading up his presidential weapons as he is in attack mode and campaign mode as he spews out the pros that has happened inside of his presidency, and he probably will not be focusing on the cons. I can probably guarantee that Joe Biden will. Although his administration has been under attack, though, he has succeeded at getting China and America in the discussion forums. This is winning on, so Trump is winning on action and stirring the pot with his vulgar approach at times, but he may have a hard time convincing some voters. This is why a debate between him and Joe Biden could be what will decide the next election. So keep an eye on Story Number 8. It made it to the top this week because these two candidates are getting ready, and the Democrats are using the cons of what has happened to this administration, while the Republicans will probably be using the pros. And as the country is struggling to stay afloat, I'm sure that people will be listening and tuning in and seeing what they can get out of the deal. Makes sense, doesn't it? The art of the deal. I made that up. Well, those are our top 8 international headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. I hope you got something out of it because I did doing the research. Well, I want to thank all the news outlets and journalists as usual, the people on the front lines, the media. You deserve all the credit. I'm just the mediator, giving news and top 8 to all the mediators out there. Well, I want to thank you so much for tuning in this week. If you want to show us some support, all you have to do is visit the website on the screen, buy something, click on something, watch something, read something, or just sponsor a program. I am out of here. Thank you so much for tuning to the Mediator this week with me, Brian West. Have a good week, everybody. Peace.
If you need help, then dial your operator.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is here.